Government efforts elsewhere in other parts of Asia. The Philippines saying it has secured permission from Iran for safe passage of its ships through the Strait of Hormuz after a call between their foreign ministers. Manila says the move will ensure the steady delivery of critical oil and fertilizer. In South Korea, the president pushing parliament to pass a $17 billion extra budget, saying the economy is, quote, on a wartime footing. Lee Jae-myung describing the conflict as worst energy security threat facing the country. Australia under a similar strain. The Prime Minister unveiling a $689 million program offering interest-free loans for businesses. And in Malaysia, civil servants will start working from home starting April the 15th to conserve fuel. The Prime Minister holding a meeting with his chief ministers this evening. And CNA senior correspondent Melissa Goh joins us live from Kuala Lumpur. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim meeting his ministers. What have we heard coming out of this meeting?
Hi, Wei. Well, this is the first time that Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim met all the state chiefs. There are 13 states in Malaysia, including the East Malaysian states of Sabah and Sarawak, to update them on the latest situation and the strategy and contingency plans that the federal government has in place to mitigate the impact of prolonged crisis in the Middle East. That's far-reaching impact on supply chains, from fuel, fertilizers to food. Now, Mr. Anwar highlighted that the fuel subsidy bill has surged to more than 4 billion ringgit a month. That's almost $1 billion a month, and looks set to get worse before it gets better. But he's promised to continue subsidizing the people till May to keep pump prices at below 50 US cents a litre, and that's among the cheapest in the region. But he needs all the state governments to be on the same page to tighten energy usage as much as possible, to be prudent in their spending. Starting middle of this month, civil servants, say from the Defence, Security and Education and Health ministries, will be allowed to work 3 days a week from home if they stay more than 8 kilometers away from their workplace, and set the air condition always at 24 degrees Celsius to lessen electricity bill, he said, and avoid unnecessary traveling overseas, especially. Now, the government will do all it can, he said, to avoid or minimize passing higher costs to the people, despite the fiscal constraints. Now, many analysts are saying that, the huge subsidy bills are simply not sustainable, as market prices for both petrol and diesel have doubled or even tripled. And keeping fuel prices artificially low only encourages consumption further. But it's really a hard decision that the government will have to balance, and efforts are underway to find that balance.
Oh, Melissa, this balance will be a mid-term, certainly longer-term concern for the government. But Malaysia, just over a month into this war in Iran, already hit by ripple effects.
Indeed, the people are worried, although, they took comfort in the fact that they can still pump petrol at 1 ringgit 99 cent, that's less than 50 US cents a litre. But that comes at a huge cost to the government's coffers, and also almost $1 billion in subsidies. The government has promised them at least till May, and for diesel subsidy till April. But there's no telling what's going to happen next. Now, everyone knows that when fuel prices go up, everything else goes up too, along with it. And it's imported good. The prices have already gone up. Animal feed, fertilizers are in short supply, and prices are doubled. Inventory is now running low for some businesses. The SMEs, the small and medium scale industries, impacted directly because prices of steel, petrochemical imports have skyrocketed. They want banks to restructure loans and ease cash flows to help them to keep the supply chain from collapsing. Now, of course, Prime Minister Anwar has assured the people as well that Malaysia has secured toll-free access for its vessels. The 7 oil tankers, he said, are said to be still at the Persian Gulf right now, waiting for their turns to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, Malaysia was once home to over 100,000 Iranians, and it has the biggest Iranian diaspora in Southeast Asia. Now, although the number has dwindled somewhat following the imposition of US-led sanctions, still, many from the Iranian community that I spoke with said they are marking this Persian New Year called Nowruz with a heavy heart, but with bigger resolve to keep their traditions alive. Let's have a listen what they have to say.
Samin Alami, 26, has lived in Malaysia since she was 9. A postgraduate student of English literature at the University of Malaya, she's in charge of setting up this year's Nowruz Hafzeen table, featuring 7 items, beginning with the Persian letter S that symbolize renewal and hope.
Apple symbolizes health, seer symbolizes some sort of like inner spirituality. Sekke coin stands for wealth, exactly. Prosperity. Samanu stands for love, and then we also have vinegar, which is serke, stands for patience and also wisdom. So it all symbolizes something.
Flowers such as tulips, along with sweets and candles and a Quran, are also displayed during the 14-day Nowruz celebration.
Tulips in Farsi is called lale, and it's a really symbolic flower for us in Iran, because in the history of Iran we had many sad moments. Young children have been killed or dead or passed away because of war, and even right now it's happening.
Tears began to roll down her cheeks. Samin said although her family and friends back home are largely safe and unharmed, she cannot help but feel sorry for the women and children who are suffering.
I really hope that peace comes up in my country, because Iran is such a beautiful country with such beautiful, intelligent people. It always makes me emotional, but most of all, I wish for mostly peace. And yeah, I think mostly peace.
Her mother, Neda Zohi, who specializes in Persian art, said she finds strength in promoting Iranian cultural identity.
When I'm painting, it takes me back to my country, my people that are the same as me. My heritage is my identity. I wish women achieve their right one day.
While the war is polarizing and threatens to tear the country apart, her husband, an Iranian friend, says that the country is now more united following the military strikes by the US in Israel.
Trump don't know about the Iranian culture. When they attacked our country, our people become united. We don't care about the politics. The important for us, Iran. And the Nowruz part of the Iran, because this is part of their culture.
During bombing, the Iranian people, most of from Tehran, going outside, going to bazaar. This is show the power of culture, the power of history, rooted for many, many thousand years ago.
It's a show of defiance, standing in solidarity with their countrymen thousands of kilometers away. And they said many are not spared by international sanctions.
Now, Malaysia was home to over 100,000 Iranians more than a decade ago. Many, mainly business people, students and lecturers and their families. They were drawn by Malaysia's visa-free entry and cultural familiarity. However, the number has declined to less than half as Malaysia tightened immigration policies, partly in response to concerns linked to international sanctions on Iran. Melissa Goh, CNA, Kuala Lumpur.